Hello, everyone. It's great to be back. It's been a while since we've been together, and I've missed you all. I hope that you are having a great week. I am recovering from a cold. My daughter came home with some sort of a sinus thing last week, and I think Wednesday was the first day that I started really feeling it. Maybe I went to bed with a bit of a stuffy nose on Tuesday. You can kind of hear it in my voice still. I've still got a little bit of sinus issues going on. I think I went to bed on Tuesday with a bit of a sinus issue. And then Wednesday, I thought I was doing fine. But come, I don't know, noon, I started feeling really bad, like feverish and just no energy. And I was like, you know what? I hate to do it. I was really looking forward to doing the show, but I'm going to push it a week just to make sure that I don't push my way through it. Because nobody wants to watch me. I mean, some of you might want to watch me in pain. I don't think it makes very good content, though. Somebody sitting behind the camera in front of a wall of skates, just closing their eyes, rubbing their head, sneezing. That's not what you tune in for. So, unfortunately, had to bump it a week. I actually got pretty sick Wednesday and Thursday. I think all day Thursday I stayed in bed. I was feeling much better Friday, and then this weekend, kind of getting through it. We did have an open house here on Saturday, which was really great. We had a maintenance workshop. So we invited people, inline and quad, to come by and get their skates fixed. You know, I think one of the things that we as, skate nerds take for granted is that a lot of people don't understand how skates work. Why the bearings need bearing spacers, for example. Why are my skates so slow? Well, it's because you don't have a bearing spacer in there and you tighten down the axles, so now the axles are hugging on the bearings and squeezing that wheel in a weird manner. That's why. Little things like that, how to clean your bearings, how to know that your bearings are shot and just throw them out and get new ones. A lot of people need to know that, and we do this show so that people can learn, but it's great to have a local area that people can come by and bring their skates. I love helping out people with their skates. You see some weird stuff, but where else can you go? You can't go to a sporting goods store or anything like that. You got to go to a specialty store that understands rollerblading. And nowadays, we don't have a ton of shops, but I am very happy to open up whenever I can for the local community here to come by and check things out. Anyway, it's been great. I'm feeling a lot better. I will get into the whole drama that I went through with my back and how getting old sucks, but I think you can avoid it. Not getting old, I don't know that we figured that out yet, but I think that I can skate longer. I don't think this is the end of me, and I'm hoping to share a little bit of insight into what I did to get back in shape, and then what I'm planning on doing to continue strengthening my core so that I can skate longer and I don't have any back injuries in the future. Looks like we are doing good. I pray to the skate god that we don't have any streaming issues today. It is a YouTube thing. I don't know why the last stream broke on me, but around an hour it just started to crap out. So obviously, if you're seeing any stuttering, please let me know. Not my speech, but within the video. It looks pretty good now though, so I'm going to start. Might be a short one. You can tell from my voice I'm still recovering a little bit, so I might call it an early night. I don't have a ton to go over, but I did want to meet and say hey to everybody. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well wherever you are watching this. Yeah, let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to Gear Talk episode 131. Gear Talk is the show that I try to do every other week, where I talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. If you know the difference between a 10mm bearing spacer and a 10mm .1 bearing spacer and a 10.2 bearing spacer, I had a guy who, this is a nightmare, and I'm still trying to work with him, but the wheels that he purchased, so the way that wheels work with the hub, usually an injection molded hub, some sort of plastic, the hub can have a slightly different tolerance. So if you ever go skating and you hear this little click when you're striding, usually that's not because the wheel is broken or anything like that. What the problem usually is is the bearing spacer that you've put inside the wheel is it's usually too big. So if it's too big, it pushes the bearings out a little bit. So when you're striding, the bearings actually move a little bit on the wheel. And even if it's just like a fraction of a millimeter, you can hear it when it moves. If they're tight in that hub, you can hear the bearing move and it goes click, click, click. And it is so frustrating. It's not going to impact performance all that much, but if you have that problem, what we always recommend is you take some bearing spacers, rub them on some sandpaper, rub them on the ground, something like that, shave off a little bit, put them back in, and see if it solves the problem. If not, swap out different bearing spacers you might have. They actually make kits that have different bearing spacers with slightly thicker or slightly thinner barrels, which for speed skating probably makes a huge difference. For aggressive, it's just an annoyance, doesn't really make any difference to your skating. But anyway, if that's the sort of thing that you are interested in, you have come to the right place. Gear Talk is a show that I do live on YouTube every other Wednesday. I try to do it every other Wednesday. Sometimes I have to skip a week. But I love talking about the geekier side of rollerblading, dialing in your setup so that every time you go out there and skate, you have a great experience. You can't blame the gear. I always like to blame my sole plates for being sticky or the wheels for being too slippery. None of that flies anymore. You should be able to dial in your skate so that it is optimized for the way that you like to skate. And if you've got any questions about that, we are here to help. Either go into the comments if you're watching this in the future, or if you're watching this live, we've got the live chat. A lot of great smart people there who can answer your questions. If you have a question that you'd like me to answer, make sure that you tag Back to Blading. That way that I can see it in orange, it will show up. And when I go through and I answer all the questions, I'll be able to find your question in the stack of chats. I love answering your questions. This is a really good opportunity to ask things that you might not be able to Google. We were talking a little bit about the lack of skate shops earlier in the show, in the pre-show, and it is difficult to get answers to these questions. So I always encourage you, if you find somebody that you trust with rollerblading, ask them all the questions that you could possibly ask. It's important that you have that knowledge so that when you're out there skating, again, you have the best session every time. You don't want to get out there and then realize that one of your axles is loose and you go up and skate and one of your wheels falls out or something like that. You should be able to fix all that stuff before you get out there. Time is limited, and you want to make sure that every opportunity you get to skate is the best time that you can have. Before we get started, I do like to thank my friends over at thehelmetinitiative.org for helping us with a helmet giveaway. We are very big supporters of helmet wearing here at Back to Blading. I've worn my helmet 99.9% of the time whenever I go out and skate. It is the least thing that you can do to keep yourself out of the hospital. You're still going to get hurt. I messed up my back a couple weeks ago. I wear wrist guards to avoid any serious damage to my wrists. Stuff like that is going to happen. I've still split my shin open. I've still messed up my wrist. I've messed up my elbows. All that sort of stuff happens. But if you mess up your head, it could have a serious consequence to your life. And we want to make sure that you can avoid any of those serious injuries. Wearing a helmet is a great way to take out a little bit of insurance every time you go out and skate. Helmets usually cost around $50, $50 or $60. You should replace your helmet anytime you hit your head with your helmet on. It's just like a car seat. Maybe you don't have kids, maybe you don't know this, but if you get into an accident and your car seat is in your car, you should replace your car seat. It could get damaged. It could get pulled in a way that isn't safe anymore. Same goes for a helmet. If you hit your head, if you hit your helmet, you start seeing a lot of scratches on your helmet. Don't just keep it around because, oh, it's my helmet. It's been around forever. It's fine. It's not like an anti-rocker wheel. It's going to be less efficient and less injury preventative if you have some damage to that helmet. So make sure that you replace your helmet once a year, once every other year. It depends on how often you skate. Definitely if you ever notice a crack, any sort of deep gashes or cuts or scrapes in your helmet, those are signs that the helmet is probably not as strong as it used to be and you should replace it. Now, like I said, they usually cost around $50 or $60. I understand that things are a little difficult for some of us right now. Hopefully we have some relief soon, but in the meantime, if you are looking for a helmet and you can't afford it, we have a helmet giveaway that we do. For every episode of Gear Talk, I like to give away a pair, I can't even speak. For every episode of Gear Talk, I like to give away a helmet so that anybody out there who needs a helmet and wants a helmet has an opportunity to get a helmet. Backtoblading.com/helmet is the place to go. And if you go there, put in your information, name, email address. That's all we need. We just need a way to get in contact with you. I will take somebody at random and I will pick out a winner for this week. And it looks like, actually, I was just sending it in the live chat, and our friend Jeff Metz has pledged $50 to cover another helmet. So we'll be giving away 2 helmets. Thank you so much, Jeff, for your contribution to the helmet giveaway. We'll have 2 helmets this week. All you need to do to apply or put your name in the hat is go to backtoblading.com/helmet, name and email address. That's all that I need. I will find 2 winners this week and I will get in contact with them and I will send you out a helmet. If you are in the US, we have a few helmets that we're able to send. If we don't have your size, we're running out of a few sizes. If we don't have your size, I will find a local shop and I will buy a helmet for you and have it delivered to you from that local shop. If you are outside of the US, instead of giving you a helmet and having you pay for shipping and customs clearance and all that stuff, it can get a little expensive. I would much rather send you some money so that you can spend it locally with a local shop and get yourself a helmet. That means that you're going to need a way so that I can send you money, whether it is Venmo, PayPal, you name it. I need a way that I can get you some cash. So if you are interested and you're outside of the US, make sure that you have a way that I can send you money. Backtoblading.com/helmet is the place to go. Thanks to our friends at the helmetinitiative.org for the helmet giveaway. Also, huge thanks to our supporters at Patreon. Patreon.com/backtoblading. That's where you go if you want to support the Helmet Initiative. Couple bucks a month. All of the proceeds from the Patreon go to the Helmet Initiative that we do for our giveaway. Covers the shipping of the helmets, covers sending the money over outside of the US, covers any helmets that we might need to purchase if we run out of your size. We really appreciate it. I don't think anybody who has any monetary issues, who is a student, who has a mortgage and is out of their luck right now, doesn't have a job, please don't do that. This is for people who have a little bit extra cash, wouldn't notice a couple of bucks a month. Really appreciate all of the help. It does go to a good cause. Backtoblading.com/helmet for your chance to win. Helmetinitiative.org for the helmet giveaway, and then patreon.com/backtoblading for more information about the helmet giveaway. All right. Bit of a weird week because I didn't really get a chance to skate. I usually talk about my current setup, and I will, but I only got, 5 minutes to skate, maybe, and then I got injured. So most of this show is going to be talking about the injury. I'm also recovering from a bit of a cold. I had a sinus thing last week, and it is still, you can hear it in my voice. I am on medication, so might be why I'm a little hyper tonight. But I did take some Sudafed, and I am ready to go. I'm breathing fine, but I still do have that congestion. So if you hear that in my voice, that's why. But I was able to skate for that 5 minutes. It was glorious. I had a great time. I felt confident. Man, I was so excited to skate. It's been so long since I've skated aggressive, and I love that little mountain skate park. It's in Boone, North Carolina, if you saw the video. Absolutely love that park. There was nobody there. Had the whole park to myself, and I ended up hurting myself just coming off of a knee-high grind. It was not even a fall. I landed well. I compressed like I usually do, but my back just gave out, and I wasn't able to skate any longer. But the skates that I was using were the Standard Omni. These are my skates. Very happy with this setup. It is almost brand new because I wasn't really able to skate it very much. But these are the Standard Omni. Can talk a little bit about version 2. These are version 1. We came out with these in February, I think. February or March of this year. We have the new version of the Standard Omni in production now. we have a lot of information coming for you. It is going to be a very busy October. So make sure that you follow the standard Instagram. If you're already following on Back to Blading, you'll probably see me talking about it as well. We'll do a full Gear Talk breakdown of all of the new things with the standard Omni version 2. I will say that there are a lot of changes. It feels like a completely different skate. I absolutely love the version 1 standard Omni. If you are a routine watcher of Gear Talk, you know that I built the initial standard Omni out of the way that I like to skate. I like a very supportive boot. I like to do big wheels as well as aggressive, so I wanted a skate that worked well for the way that I like to skate. Anything that I want to do, I could put big wheels on it, I could do aggressive. The boot should be able to hold up to it. This next version is more of an aggressive skate. So it is a completely different material than what we're using in V1. It's going to be a lot more comfortable. It's going to be a lot more flexy. And I cannot wait to tell you all about it. Soon, next month, we will have more information. Until then, know that we are in production now. So I've been working tirelessly with the factory to get everything that they need. New box art, new liner labels, new art for the boots, new art for the wheels, new, geez, what else was there? That might be it. Colorways, Pantone colors, all of that stuff. Labels for the packaging. All of the things that I didn't really remember that we needed to do, I had to put together. So it's been a busy couple of days. Lot of late nights because I still have a full-time job. It's not like I'm able to do this during my work hours. So I come home, I do the family thing, and then as soon as I'm, done cleaning the dishes after dinner, I sit down and I open up Photoshop and I open up Illustrator and I'm working on sizing labels. It is a busy time. But I am so excited. You can tell it is going to be the skate that I think a lot of people were expecting from the standard Omni. I think a lot of you love the Omni. I love the Omni. I've heard from a bunch of people that absolutely love the Omni. But there are a few things that I wanted to improve to make it better for most people. Most people want a slightly flexier skate. Most people want a little bit more comfort, a little bit more room on the inside. All of your wishes will come true. Should have more information in the next month. Until then, I am still on the V1s. I'm not skating the V2s. I had a pair of V2s and I sent them off so that people could test them because I know that I'm not able to skate very much and I wanted to get as much feedback as possible. When you're working with China, you only get so many samples, and I was able to do all of my tricks out the box with a V2 boot. And I sent it to a few different people to get feedback on fit, on flex. Everything was really well received. We made a bunch of changes. That was actually the first version of the V2 material. We're on like version 3 now. So we've done a lot of tweaks to dial in this material. We're at a point now where we think that we have a really great skate. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to skate it, and then let us know what you think. And as more people skate it, they will give us feedback, just like they did with V1, and we'll say, oh, we need to tweak this, we need to tweak that. It's going to be a constant, iterative process. I am a software developer by trade. I am a big proponent of an agile development process, so I like to ship early and often. V2 is going to be a huge update from V1, but we're not stopping there. We've got plans all the way up to V6 already written down. It's going to be a long, long process, but we will get there, and I hope that you will support us along the way. It's been a really, really fun project. At any rate, these are my skates. I like to rollerblade. These are aggressive frames, 50-50 balance 2s. The red frames, we sold out of the large. I have more coming in next week. If you're looking for a large, they're on their way. They're here next week. Sold out of anti-rocker wheels. I've got more on the way if you're looking for those, black and white. Sold out of those already. It's been hard to keep things in. Summer has kind of been like a roller coaster, up and down. A lot of demand early on, slow in the middle, and then really big towards the end. And now I'm at a point where I'm out of inventory and I need to order more stuff. Also, I have been skating the big wheels, so since I skated last, I skated these and I skated my big wheels. I will be, especially on my Mend tour, trying to get back to skating more often. I will be skating big wheels more than aggressive. I think it's important that we balance out the amount of aggressive that I do, especially from the jumping, at least until I can strengthen my body again so that I can support myself. But with that setup, I'm rocking the Omnis with the 90mm compass frames. We were talking a little bit about these actually in the pre-show. These have been a really successful product. I didn't have any doubt, but I didn't know how big the market would be for a 90mm plastic UFS frame. I kind of assumed that plastic wouldn't be strong enough, it wouldn't be supportive enough, and that people would justify the $400, $300, whatever cost for an aluminum UFS 90mm frame. But at the $80 that we sell them for, these are a really great frame. A lot of people love the responsiveness, the rocker ability, really dial it in for the way that you like to skate. Each of the axles can be rockered in 4 ways. I did an Instagram post on the Compass Instagram page, and you can also go to skateeverywhere.com for all of the breakdowns, but some of the recipes for the rocker. Currently, I am on a 1mm rocker, so these 2 wheels, the outside wheels, are rockered out. So this is rockered this way, this one's rockered this way, and then my middle wheels are rockered down. And that gives a 1mm effective rocker, so these 2 wheels will touch the ground first, and then I'll have 1mm distance between this wheel touching and this wheel touching. What that means is a slightly shorter effective wheelbase, so you can turn a little bit faster, but I still have a lot of good stability. I came up with about 4 different rocker styles, and I put all of those on the website so you can take a look. I'm finding that the 1mm rocker is a really good setup for the way that I like to skate. Gives me a lot of control, but not too much control. That hockey rocker that I had before with the toe up, it's a little bit too chaotic when I was doing any jumps or airs. It's kind of hard to always land on your heels. I usually land more centered, and if I land centered, I'm usually just on these 2 wheels if I had that toe up, so it was a lot of balance issues. But yeah, absolutely loving it. Rocking the Omni with no sole plates. I am on the Intuition liners. These are the Intuition Premiums. I have not used the heel wraps. I took those off because I felt like with the Omni V1, because this is such a solid, rigid cuff, first of all, there's not a lot of wiggle room in there. So because this material is so stiff, it doesn't allow a wider foot in there. So putting that extra material for the heel wrap meant that my foot was getting a lot more pressure and I couldn't skate for long periods of time. Long periods being 20 minutes. Taking off the heel wrap, I still had that support because this cuff is really stiff and it's supportive around my ankle. So it gave me everything that I needed from a big wheel skate experience, but I didn't need that heel wrap. When I'm skating V2, I will probably put the heel wraps back on. I have skated them, but not with the Intuition. So I skated the V2 first samples just like this with Compass 90s, but I think I was using stock liners, the comfort liners. I didn't have the Intuitions when I had my V2s. So as soon as I get a V2, I will report back and let you know what they feel like. V2 isn't designed as a big wheel skate. You can still skate them like this, but if you want a more supportive setup, V1 is the way to go. Anyway, Compass 90s, very happy with them. Thanks for all the support. It's always a great feeling seeing people posting and tagging us in skate clips when you're out there skating them, but it's an even better feeling as a business owner when a skate shop reorders. So we sell a lot of products first time, and it's pretty easy to sell, your first shipment of things. Like every shop's going to want to have one of everything just to see what they're like. To have that shop then reorder is a really good sign. I've had a shop now order 3 times. So they bring in a couple pair, they sell out. They bring in a couple more pair, they sell out. Now they've asked for a couple more pair. that is a really great sign. So anybody out there who's purchased them, appreciate all of the support and your confidence in me to try a plastic 90 millimeter frame, something that I didn't think would work as well as it did. But the word is out. People are out there skating them. It is a really great way to dip your toes into wizard skating without investing the $400 for a pair of NR90s, which I still recommend. I think is a great frame. But this is a really good first step. So if you just want to taste what wizard skating is, this will give you a good indication of it. And then when you're ready and you're like, yeah, this is for me, upgrade yourself to a pair of wizard frames, find a new home for your Compass 90s, give them to somebody or blade train them or whatever. And you'll be very thankful with a really solid aluminum frames. All right, let's do this. Let's take some questions. If you are watching the live stream, I always love answering questions live. If you're watching in the future, feel free to leave a comment. I always read all of my questions, all of my comments, and I thumbs them up. If you have a question, make sure that you let me know in the comments, and I will always respond. If I don't know the answer, I will point you in a direction that you can find the answer. I'm a really good resource to finding those answers. Doesn't mean that I know everything, but I know a lot of things, and I know a lot of ways to find things. So would love to help you with that. Anyway, let's go through some questions. Make sure that you tag Back to Blading so that I can see them in the live chat. Keep on blading. You split your shin, ? I thought you used shin guards. I do. So there was a time when I was skating G-form, and I would skate G-form knee shin guards. Do you remember those? I did a video on them. I was very passionate about them. They worked so well. The G-form is a squishy material that hardens when it gets quick impact. So it doesn't feel like you're wearing pads until you need to wear pads. And then when you fall down on your knees, you can feel that hardening of the material, and it stops the big bruises. You're still going to feel that impact. So it's not really a knee pad. It's more like a protective layer, I guess. But it works really well for that. The problem is that the way that they work is they have these little like ribs of padding. And I was skating at the old skate park, factory skate park. I think I was in Shadows at the time. If you are looking for an old video, if you find me skating a pair of Shadows, I think I was in my Shadows at the time. And I slipped off. I jumped on Royale. It is a angle iron bower box, which is the worst. But it's an angle iron bower box. I was trying to Royale, and I jumped on, and my back foot slipped, and it went down to my shin. So if you can imagine, just slipping off of a Royale and then slipping down to your shin. And immediately my blood drained from my head. I went into shock. Blood out my shin. Was the worst feeling. I don't know that I got stitches on that one, but I definitely split my shin open with that one, and it bled all the way through the pads, through my jeans. It was bad. I think I even did a video wrap-up after that while I was in shock, which was not my normal voice. Totally sucked. The second time, which I actually did need stitches, I don't know that I was wearing my shin guards. Was I wearing my shin guards? I don't know that I was wearing my shin guards because I had that incident and I was like, you know what, shin guards suck. They're not going to do anything anyway. I had not learned that soccer shin guards are probably the best solution for everybody. And I've tried Ennui, I've tried 888, I've tried, BMX shin guards. I still get the same pain, the same bumps, the same hematomas from, hitting my shins with those. Soccer shin guards are $10. They work really well. That's what I currently recommend. Anyway, I was at Durham Skate Park. I think I was skating I remember the videos because I remember what happens. I think I was skating the Monterey sways, the white and red ones. And I jumped on the little handicap rail. It was in my first impressions video. jumped on the handicap rail, and I did not know that they had just waxed the rail. So I'd been hitting it over and over and getting pretty far down the rail, but I wanted to do the whole rail. So I gave it a little bit more speed. Unbeknownst to me, they had just waxed it. So I jumped on and completely washed out. Same exact thing happened. My back foot slid out, went straight down to the rail with my shin, and then split it open. And that was enough that I went to urgent care and I got stitches. I still have a pretty gross scar from that. Now I always wear my my soccer shin guards whenever I go out and skate. When I go out and skate, I will always wear my wrist guards, my knee pads, my soccer shin guards, and my helmet. If I'm just skating big wheels, I usually just do wrist guards. I don't do my knee pads or shin guards. It's just my wrist guards. And I don't know why. I always feel like I can gauge myself better when I'm doing big wheels. Aggressive, I'm throwing myself at things. So it's the object that I usually hurt myself on. It's not the actual act of skating. Helmet always, just because you never know. Wrist, again, never know. If I fall down, brace myself. If I can't use my wrist, I can't type. If I can't type, I can't work. So that is a problem. But yeah, split my shin twice, lots of blood. Once I needed stitches. It sucks. Wear shin guards. Soccer shin guards are probably your best bet. Great question, though. I don't think I talked very much about my injuries. It's a good injury show. Chris Paul, hey Chris, have you seen the new 888 D cover helmet? Weird little hinge design to bring it closer to your head. I have not. I will take a look at that. I'm a big fan of helmet technology. I did try the MIPS, 888 MIPS helmet. Felt like more of a marketing thing than anything else. The MIPS is the, I think it's multiple impact something system, where it moves around on the inside. So when you hit your head, it actually moves the helmet a little bit. Really cool design, maybe more of a gimmick than anything else. I'm sure that it helps, avoid concussions if you get into that situation. I think there is value to it, but I don't know that it's needed for what we do. But that sounds really cool. Yeah, I will take a look at it. I love helmet technology. I love all technology. Any gear is good, but the fact that they're still trying to figure out ways to make a better helmet, I'm all for it. Thanks for letting me know. Mr. Darren 25, hey Law, checking in mid-skate session. Have you been keeping up with the World Skate Games? A standard rider made the finals at Inline Park. I have not. I saw Nicole just crushing it. She's incredible. Maybe my favorite skater right now, to be honest. Just the style that she has. You guys probably saw that 270 backside Favre on that down rail. Jesus, man. She is so friggin' good, and she's only gotten better. Like, I remember talking about her on the podcast a few years back, when she had just started, really skating aggressive. She's just incredible now. I haven't really been watching the games though. I'm sure that I'll see some clips. If there is a standard rider, it might be Aoi, A-O-I. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but he is from Japan. Really great dude. We've been talking a little bit. He and his brother were the two that got their Omnis first, because Center Ramp is a great shop in Japan, and they got a shipment directly from the factory. So they got them first. They were out there skating them the first weekend, and he absolutely loves the skates. So stoked to see. He actually got second at the Blading Cup in Spring Blading Cup, the one in Jakarta. So yeah, he's an amazing skater if that's him. If it isn't him, I don't know who else it would be. We don't have a ton of skaters on Omnis yet. We've only shipped our first version, but it's really great if he's out there representing. Really amazing dude too. So all the best to him. I hope that he does really well. Darren Daniel, recommend any liners besides Intuition? Yeah, it really depends on what you want to skate. And I am a big proponent of not spending a ton of money on liners. I don't really like Intuitions. I feel like for $200, you're just spending a ton of money. And I don't know that you need that level of comfort, that level of performance. I like the RL1 liner. I don't know that I have one handy. The RL1 liner is from Rossi's. They also have the RL2 now. It fit my foot really well. It was a minimal amount of padding, and if you're looking to downsize, it was a really good liner for that. I was a big fan of the Skinny Boy liners. They came in the Aeons. Do I have them here? Trying to think of all the liners that I liked, and my old Aeons, I don't think I have them anymore. I think I gave them away, but they were really great liners as well. Ultimately, I think you need to ask what you want in a liner. If you're looking for something that is very responsive, very supportive, and you don't mind spending a ton of money, Intuition is your answer. It is the best liners out there, no question about it. But 200, 220 bucks, depending if you get the normal or the premium liners, that's a lot of money to spend on a liner. I do think that you can get something relatively good for under 100 bucks. I love our standard Omni Comfort liners. I love the Rain V3 liners. I've heard really good things about the new Rollerblade liner. I think that's a pretty expensive one. The RL2 is pretty expensive as well, though. But yeah, if money is no object, get the Intuitions. It's just easy. You know that they're going to work really well if you want a comfortable liner. I like our comfort liners. I like the Fat Boys from MyFit. I like the Faction liners are really good. The ones that I got in my, I have my Factions here. The ones that I got on my Tactical V1s, here they are. These are really great liners too. And I think all of their liners are very similar. So definitely, I don't know if they sell the liners separately, but you might be able to find them at their website. Really, really great liner, high quality, fit my foot really well. Yeah, good liner, and it's a stock liner, so really hard to beat the price. Great question. If you have more questions about the liner, though, leave a comment. I would love to answer more. Tell me a little bit about what you're trying to achieve with your liners. If you're looking for downsizing, if you're looking for comfort, if you're looking to fill some space, all of that matters. It's hard to give a liner recommendation without knowing that, but sounds like you're just starting to look. So definitely there are a lot of great liner options out there. Jordan Skates, is the Omni V2 size chart changing with the changes? It is not changing. That's a tricky one. So first, I've already shared that we have an extra small shell coming. That is our size 38 shell. So it's a 37-38. It is a size 4.5 US. It is 259 internal measurement. So the distance from the furthest point in the heel to the furthest point in the toe is 259 millimeters. It's designed for feet that are like 249, 250. It is a really great size for female skaters. It is a really great size for people who just have smaller feet, kids, anything like that. That will obviously change the size chart. From our recommendations, that won't change much. We did make some changes to the liners that I'll share that improve the sizing a little bit, which I think you'll really like if you are a fan of the stock comfort liners, but they just didn't work for you. I think you'll be very happy to see the improvements we've made. I also got some reports that the shells felt like they had a little bit more room inside of them. So the material that we're using is a completely different material than the V1. And my hunch is that the way that it cools and cures is slightly different than the V1 plastic. And by cooling, it has, instead of contracted, it might have expanded a little bit. So maybe instead of pulling in like the V1 might have done, I don't know, I'm just making that up. But if people are saying that the V2 has a little bit more room on the inside, like 2 millimeters more room, that is a big deal. Not just in length, but in width. So take that with what you will. We will be out at Blading Cup in November, I guess it is. First week of November, last week of October. And we will have all sizes of the Standard Omni V2 available for people to try on and to skate. So you'll not just be putting them on your feet, you'll be able to skate them around and see what you think. You can bring your frames, you can swap out your frames with our sole plates and skates. You can bring your liners, put your liners in however you want to set them up, just to see what they feel like. We will have all sizes available for you at Blading Cup. So come on out to Blading Cup. It will be a really, really fun event. It's a great event to begin with, but it will be really great if you're interested in V2. All of that information, we're still waiting on the ETA on production. As I said earlier, production is an mass production stage, which means that they are just flying through, making all the liners, all the shells, all the sole plates, everything right now. And I don't know when that will be done, but I do not want them to rush. I don't want any shrinkage issues due to not allowing materials to cure. I don't want any warping because they rushed installation. I want them to make this V2 as perfect as the samples were that we got during last summer. It's really important to me that I think a lot of people loved the V1, but it's really important to me that V2 is as perfect as it can be, because I know that a lot of people are going to give us a second chance with things that they didn't like about V1. I want to make sure we knock it out the park, because I know the potential of Omni. I know how good it can be, and I want everybody out there to feel it. So long story short, sizing is TBD. I will have more information as soon as I can, but know that it's a little bit longer and a little bit wider than the V1 if you were trying the V1, and we've added the extra small, so it's a little bit, there's an additional shell for smaller feet. Summer Responsible, nice shirt. Thank you so much. 976 Pardon Supply, my favorite European brand. Two of my favorite European brands. I've been waiting to wear this shirt. I don't know why I haven't, but I haven't had a lot of opportunities to. And I was going through my shirts today and I was like, you know what, it's time. So I'm glad that somebody noticed. Stubbs, missed a sole on a mini pipe wearing G-form knee shins and hit the side of my shin just outside the pad. It got a hematoma. Now I'm back to ennui with just G-form knee. I think that is the call. I do love the G-form knees. I don't wear hard cap knee pads, no cap. I'm not a I'm not a shin a knee pad guy. I wear the little padded ones underneath the ALK 13s. But yeah, G-form was really good for under the pants. I really liked that. That was a really good option for those. All right. Is that everything? That is everything. All right. I think I got everyone. So let's talk a little bit about injuries and recovering. So it is 9:45. This shouldn't be too long of a segment. Really, it's almost like a therapy session for me and a documentation so that when and if this happens again, I can refer to this in the future and say, what did I do and how did I fix myself? Because it sucked. If you didn't see the video, I was just out at the skate park. I did my normal stretches as I always do, and I've been doing stretches every morning for the last 3 years. I do back stretches, I do leg stretches, I do side stretches, I do neck stretches, so that my body is ready for the day. Because you know, when you wake up, sometimes you get these little muscles that aren't aligned properly. You just got to get yourself back into alignment, and it's like, all right, I'm ready to do things. And then I do a slightly deeper stretch before I go skating. I get the inside of my quads, I get the hamstrings, I get my back again, I get my neck again. I do a little bit of almost like jumping jacks to get my heart rate going, so that I've got a little bit of blood flow, so that when I'm skating, I'm in a place where I'm ready to skate. That was not the problem. The problem was that I was not in shape. So I took for granted the fact that I had been skating every week. And if you are a longtime watcher of the channel, you know that I went for 4 years skating every single weekend. And there were obviously times that I didn't. There was a time when it was snowing and I couldn't skate, even though I tried. There's times when I take vacation, things like that. But I would go every week and I would skate my local skate park. Sometimes twice a week. Sometimes during the week, I would go skate as well. And that kept me in shape. You know, I was using the muscles that I needed when I was skating because I was skating so much. Starting last year, you know, I cut back on the YouTube channel and focused a lot more of my free time on the skate company and my real-time job. I had a lot more going on at work, so I had less free time. And unfortunately, it's finally caught up with me. You know, I have not been doing a good job of working out. I do work out, but I don't work out any specific muscle groups. It's more of a general workout. I think I mentioned on an old show, an app called Fitbod that helps me go through, and I can set it to specific muscle groups, but I had it set to more of a general fitness setting. So it kind of works all of your muscles. I was doing it 3 times a week, pared down to 2 times a week, pared down to 1 time a week. And then I didn't really do it as much, and it bit me. I think as you get older, it's really important to take better care of your body. And I am going to start doing that. I have a meeting with my physical therapist next week. I met last week to get some x-rays done and verify that there's nothing scary going on with me. So I had an injury, more of a muscle related pull or a tear or something, but nothing with my, discs or herniated discs or anything like that. Everything is fine. There's nothing broken. It is just my body not being able to hold up to what my mind says that I can do. So I wanted to walk through 2 things. First, I wanted to walk through what happened and how I dealt with it over the week. It took me about 3 weeks to get back to where I am today. And yesterday I was able to go to my chiropractor, which I love chiropractors. It's not for everyone, but for me as a guy growing up playing ice hockey, I got banged around a lot, getting out of alignment and stuff. I'm pretty good about feeling out my body and knowing when I'm out of alignment and which things to stretch and which things to move in order to pop that back into place. But there are ways that a chiropractor can do it that's better than anything that I could possibly do. So I highly recommend chiropractic if that is something that you are up for. But I went yesterday, got that last little pop to dial myself in and to align myself, a little tune-up. And I still have a little bit of soreness, but I have full mobility now. I am back in action. No pain, no zaps, no nothing like that. So I wanted to walk a little bit through what I did, and hopefully you can learn a little bit, if this happens to you, how to recover a little bit faster. So when the incident happened, I was just doing a soul grind, came off of a knee-high ledge, came and compressed, and the way that I compressed, my body, instead of compressing straight down like this, I was leaning over a little bit. So by leaning over a little bit, instead of putting that stress on my full back and just my legs, I put more of it on my lower back. My lower back is not as strong as it needs to be. So future me needs to work more on strengthening that lower back, a lot of core exercises, a lot of probably squats to get my quads better. Maybe I have a slide board, so maybe doing some of that to get myself stable. That is what the physical therapist is going to help me with next week. So I will report back on the exercises that I am doing to strengthen that area. But that is what happened. I had a lot of support from viewers on the comments with all of the different possible things that could have gone wrong with me. That is what happened. So my muscles gave way because it wasn't strong enough and I was doing too much and it overextended. Immediately, about, 6 inches from my hips got really, really tight and painful. And I wasn't able to stand up straight because this area just was swelling very quickly. So I was hunched over when I was doing my little wrap up. I was about an hour away we were up at the cabin, and I was an hour away from the cabin. So that was a long drive. pro tip in the future, ibuprofen, we're getting this at Costco. We go through ibuprofen pretty quickly. Ibuprofen is really good about keeping swelling down and keeping pain from getting out of control. Again, I will preface all this by saying I'm not a doctor. Consult your physician if you have any questions on this. This is not medical advice. But for me, I now have a bottle of ibuprofen in the car because that drive home was fine. But as soon as I got to the driveway at the house, I fell out of the car because I could not sit up. I had been sitting like this for so long that the muscles had tightened in this position. So I was just like this. I was like, I can't get out. And my car is pretty low. I'm not driving in an SUV. So in order to get out of the car, I literally just fell out of the car and then got onto the ground and crawled my way because I couldn't lift myself up. It sucked. That was a horrible, horrible experience. Taking some ibuprofen would have helped. So definitely make sure that you got ibuprofen with you in the car, in your skate bag if you need it. 400 milligrams, each of these is 200. 400 milligrams is fine. 800 is probably fine. Again, I'm not a doctor. But what you want is to keep that swelling from getting out of control so that you can move around when you get out of your car. As soon as I got home, most important thing with swelling is ice. They say ice and heat, you can kind of go back and forth from the others. Everything that I've read and what worked really well for me is within the first 24 hours, you want to focus on the ice part of that. So do whatever you can to get an ice pack. I have these little cold compresses that I keep in the freezer. They are flexy. There's some sort of a gel inside that stays really cold, but it still molds around. So if you get like an ice pack or something that's completely flat and you put it on your back, it's just going to kind of sit there, like your back is kind of like this, and it's just like, it's not really doing anything. But if you have something that's bendy and foldy, it will actually fold over your wrist, which is really nice, over your back, which is really nice. Something like that, some sort of a cold compress, something that you can reuse. At the cabin, I had nothing because we are selling the cabin, so I didn't even have ibuprofen. So I had absolutely nothing. So I was just looking for things, and I found a bag of frozen peas in the freezer. So I was sitting on the couch in a fetal position with a bag of frozen peas on my back, trying to get the swelling down. That sucked. It was the worst experience after my injury that I've had. And I've hurt my back a bunch, but this was the worst situation that I've ever had. So I went through that a few times. I put the ice on a bunch. I was still in pain, still didn't have anything to do for it. So, and again, I am not a doctor. This is not what I would normally recommend people do. I had bourbon. So I had bourbon at the cabin. I didn't have any ibuprofen, but I was like, hey, I will numb myself so that I can do something. So I had a bottle of McKenna 10-year, which is, if you can find this, a very nice bottle of bourbon. McKenna isn't a great overall brand, but their 10-year is top notch. It's really hard to find here, but because the area up, it's in like a Sparta. I think you've seen the skate park up there, Sparta area, West Jefferson area, Boone. There aren't a lot of bourbon drinkers up there, I guess, so I was able to find a bottle of this up there. Really nice bottle, but alcohol, I don't recommend drinking. I haven't been drinking very much lately, but if you're trying to get through some serious pain, a little bit of whiskey definitely helped. So I got, the edge off there. I got the swelling down with the frozen peas. I got all the laundry done. I still was in my sweaty clothes. I drove home in my sweaty clothes. It was a really, really bad experience. But I loaded up the car, and then I had to drive home 3 hours to Durham. And then again, fell out of the car because, it sucked. I take that back. I stopped at the drugstore on the way home, and I bought myself a little bottle of ibuprofen that I now have in the car. And I took 800 milligrams of ibuprofen and that just chilled me out. And I got myself drive through. I got Diet Coke, or a Diet Coke. I would never drink a Diet Coke. I got a Coke with burger or Taco Bell or whatever it was. Feeling a little caffeine might have helped me. A little sugar might have helped because, you know, injuries, sometimes a little bit of sugar helps. Got my way home. Wife was ready for me because, you know, I was texting her the whole time and she knew what was going on. And I was like, all right, I am incapacitated, but I'm driving. So wish me luck on the road, and hope that I make it. And then when I do, I won't be any help at all. It was Saturday, I think, when that happened. So I had another day before I had to go back to work. But that night, you know, as soon as I got home, it was ice pack, ice pack, ice pack. You know, I had this on rotation. It's not a bad idea to get a couple of them so that you can have one in the freezer while you have the other one on you, and then you switch them out. You want to make sure that the swelling goes down. You know, usually when you have tightness in your back after an injury because you can't move and a lot of pain, it's because the blood is flowing to that area trying to fix whatever happened. So the swelling is really the problem. It's not that there's an injury. It's not like I broke something or ripped something. It's that because I overextended in that area and my body couldn't support me, all of the blood flow was going there and it was swelling up. So ibuprofen helps get the swelling down. Ice helps get the swelling down. Heat doesn't do anything for swelling. If anything, it makes the swelling worse. So avoid heat in the first 24 if you got a lot of swelling. Ice is really good. Ibuprofen is really good. And obviously bourbon is always good. Next couple of days, more of the same. A lot of ice, a lot of ibuprofen, less bourbon. I didn't drink since then. But, you know, didn't have a way to really do much. Just kind of hung out on the couch, tried to walk around, couldn't lift my back. I couldn't stand up straight. I was hunched over the whole time. Getting dressed, I had to lay on the ground and get on my side. You know, I was getting dressed on the side because I couldn't bend down. I had like a set angle that my body was in, and that's about it. So I couldn't move out of that. Every day got a little better though. You know, the first couple of days were really rough, but it started getting better. One thing that I did do as soon as it started getting in less pain is I took a really nice long bath with Epsom salts. I don't know that the Epsom salt really does much, but as soon as I was able to have a little bit of flexibility and able to get out of the bath, I could get in the bath, but I wanted to make sure I could get out. Having a nice warm bath really worked. I take baths probably 3 times a week, and I recommend anybody out there who is, you know, just has old knees or old back or just gets sore or whatever. For me, a bath really helps with the circulation. I do a very hot bath. I know that a lot of people are into cold baths. Either way you go, a bath is a really good way to kind of reset your body and to get it back into a known state, like a empty state, you know what I mean? So I've been taking baths, and I took a bath and it was really, really good. I don't know that the Epsom salt does anything, but my wife is a big fan of it and she says that it works well for her, so I had to give it a shot. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, I don't know. But the first week was just like that. It was just trying to get myself back into some sort of a movable state. I was doing some stretches as much as I could. And as you do the stretches, as I was doing the stretches, I could feel that tight muscle in my back start to get a little lower in my back. So I would do stretches back and I would lean back as much as I could like this. I would do stretches to the side and stretch that muscle in the back both ways, able to stretch that muscle in the back. And when I was doing that, I could feel little pops as the muscles kind of got out of each other's way. My understanding is that when the swelling happens, things get a little funky back there. So by doing stretches, it brings the muscles back into alignment the way that they need to be, similar to what a chiropractor would do, but in a more gentle way. I am a big fan of stretching. Again, stretch every morning for, you know, a couple minutes. It is something that as you get older, it's just a thing that you're going to need to do. As soon as it started getting less painful back there and it was just tight, as soon as the tightness took over, that's when I started using a percussive massager. So this thing is a lifesaver. if you don't have a percussion massager, highly recommend you get one. We did one for the Bob and Brad brand. They sent me a pair to review. I think I mentioned that percussion massager maybe a year ago. This is what brand is this? This is Theragun, I think. You don't have to spend a ton on it. I think this was an expensive one. Yeah, the Theragun. I think this was an expensive one, a couple $100. You can get one for less than $100. All different shapes and sizes. Find one that has more of a padded hammer. That is what I like. The harder ones, it's just not what you want. You're not looking to really move mountains with this thing. You're looking to loosen things up. It's kind of like a shotgun that just blows aside all of the fascia that you've got that holds your muscles in place. You want to use this and just move it all around. So I was using this. It's really, really nice. This thing just moves very quickly and it pounds into your back or wherever you need it. And I would start high and I would move down and slowly move those muscles down until they were all the way down to my lower back. Then at least I had full range of motion. It would still hurt my lower back, but then at least I had full range of motion. My wife then recommended, as I got to a point where it was just pain, it wasn't mobility, it wasn't a tight muscle, it was pain, that I look into using her TENS machine. So this is something that I'd never tried. I think a chiropractor put it on me before, and I wasn't a big fan of it, but I am now. So this is a TENS machine, T-E-N-S, not the number 10, but T-E-N-S. It is an acronym for something, something, electric, something, something. Basically what it is it has these two little sticky pads, and they're not sticky now because they have a little protective layer on them. But you put these two pads on the muscle area that hurts. You want to keep them within, pretty close distance. They can't go from one side of your back to the other. If you've got one side that's hurting more, do one side at a time. So you'll put those on. And then you can use the controls that, this one is a fairly fancy version, I think. It does different settings for different muscle groups. But what it does is it sends little electrical pulses. It feels kind of tingly, and then it feels kind of pulsy, tink, 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 like that. And I'll be damned if after using this for 30 minutes, I sat on the couch, watched Bad Monkey. If you haven't watched Bad Monkey, it's on Apple TV Plus. Really, really great show with Vince Vaughn. Very, very big fan of Bad Monkey. I was a Swingers fan. I loved, Vince Vaughn in Swingers, but I don't think that I've been a Vince Vaughn fan. I've seen a few of his movies. What's the one where he's with Jennifer Aniston, where he's in Chicago? I can't remember what that one's called, but that was a really great movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a really great movie. But this is great. Classic Vince Vaughn, really, really funny. Anyway, I was watching that, and this was running for about 30 minutes, and after it was done, I get up and the pain is gone. Gone. So I don't know if the way that it works is it puts the electricity in there and then it distracts the muscles, distracts the nerves. Don't really know how it works. Don't really care. All I can say is that it does work. You can get fairly cheap versions of these for like $30, $40. I want to say this one was like $80. I think it comes with more features, maybe more power, maybe more quality of the electricity zapping that it does. But if you are getting acute pain, not a soreness, not a tightness, but like an actual pain, this is a really good solution for that. Soreness might work, but soreness usually to me is I know why I did it. Like I exerted myself and then now my body is tired. If you pull something a little weird and it's not really a percussion massager loosening thing, this is a really good solution for that. And I'd never tried them before, but I'm at a point now where I did it before the episode. Anytime I have a little bit of pain, especially in my lower back, this thing is a lifesaver. So highly recommended. It's been a lot of that. So I have a massage chair at home as well that does the rotating massage up and down my back just to keep things moving back there. Nothing really crazy. Every day I did the same stretches. Every day I would get a little bit more of a release. So if you haven't, I'm sure you felt when you bend down and you can feel your knees kind of pop or your ankles pop, or you lean back and you can hear your back pop or something like that. This is what I would call a release. Sometimes it's a good thing. Chiropractors will do it in a very very specific way and force things so that they can release the muscles that are tightening you up, I would assume. There were a lot of times when I would fold myself and do a stretch, and then I could feel this boom, like a big release. And I was like, whoa, like now I have more motion. And I remember getting one of those in my hip on Saturday morning. I was opening my hips up, and then I do a thing where I hold my legs, hold my hands on the outside of my legs, and I force my legs apart. So I work those muscles on the inside, and I could feel it kind of tight, and then boom, and it just opened up, and it was a very great feeling. Instant relief. I had full motion then, still sore, which is where the TENS machine comes in, still sore, still painful, but I was able to move. And that was the last bit. I went to the chiropractor for a final tune-up yesterday, and again, now I'm at a point where I feel like the next steps are physical therapy. I need to start strengthening the areas that failed me. I need to do more quad workout. I need to do more core workout, more abdominals, more lower back workout, full back workout probably. Really looking forward to the physical therapist telling me what to do. And when I get to a point where I have a really good routine, I do plan on making a video explaining all of the things that I went through here and all of the exercises that I'm doing to strengthen myself. I think that is something that I just personally neglected. I didn't even think about it. I always thought working out was to improve where you are. Like you want to jump higher, you want to skate longer, you want to skate faster. But at my age, working out is to maintain where you are. If I don't work out, as evidence to me being hurt from coming off of a soul grind, I'm going to lose what I have. And that sucks because rollerblading is very important to me, not just from a business perspective, but from this is what I do. If I don't skate for a couple of weeks, I start losing it. And I need to be able to skate. That is my outlet. And I want to be able to skate for as long as I can. As long as I can walk, I want to be able to skate. Big wheels are great. I would love to continue doing aggressive. That is my goal. And I will share with you today, when I was in the best shape of my life was about 10 years ago. My hockey team was looking to get into the championships, and I had set myself my goal that, hey, you know what? These are a really great bunch of guys. We're so close. We can do it if I step up and I really take control and do everything that I can to be the most efficient player that I can. Take the puck as much as I can, make plays, score goals. Like I played defense, so it was like, shut it down. Like all of the things that I know that I can do, but I didn't have the physical ability to do. So I spent 6 months and I worked out probably 5 times a week. I was in the garage shooting. I had a little a pad that I was doing stick handling drills. I would have a wall with a tarp, and I would do shooting drills, and I would do high intensity hit training. So I was doing a lot of plyometrics, a lot of jumping, and I would go to the rink twice a week just practicing. And at the end of that whole thing, we won the championships. I was the leading scorer in our league. I have the same style of goal. Now, I'm not going to, I think Stefan would laugh if I said that I'm going to bring him to the championships. I'm not trying to bring the teams to the championships or anything like that. I've hung up my jersey from that. But I have a goal. I am 48 years old. My birthday is in August. And my goal is I want to do a street edit for my 50th birthday. So I am going to get myself in shape. I am going to start stacking clips. And I'm going to put together the best damn street edit that you've ever seen from a 50-year-old man. So that is my goal. I hope that you will watch me as I do this. I will be posting YouTube videos as I go out, getting clips. Of course, I won't post the clips, but I'll post the days, and I'll post my training, getting back into it. I love rollerblading, and it pains me that I wasn't able to skate. It pains me that the time that I finally found to go out and skate, I was unable to do it because of my physical abilities. And I never want that to happen again. So I'm going to set the model, if at 48 I can skate, as well as I know that I can, you can too. I'm going to try to share all of my improvements and all of my tips to get back in shape so that, I can skate as long as I can walk. That's the goal. All right. I think that is everything from this perspective. If there's anything that you might have from a question, love to answer any more questions that you might got. I will scroll to the top if there's anything else, but just tag back to blading. We can hang out for a little bit and chat. It is 10:11, so it didn't go as long as I thought it would, but I am looking to cut this a little shorter. I usually do 2 hours. It's only going to be an hour and a half tonight. Drink a little bit of water. If you do have a question, please tag back to blading. I will do my best to answer it. If you just want to chat or you have something in mind, please let me know. I would love to talk to you about it. Yeah, I was very impressed with the TENS machine. Seriously, if you have not gotten one, it's not just for skating, but my wife uses it for cramps, and I've used it for chiropractic for years. I never liked it, but I think it was because I didn't put it on, the chiropractor didn't put it on properly, or maybe they had it set too high. You can change the level, intensity level, and I started really low, and I've been slowly moving it up, and now it feels great. It really just blocks all of the nerve feelings in that area, and afterwards it's like it just cleaned everything off. It's like defragmenting your hard drive, if you're a geek from the 90s that is familiar with that sort of thing. All right. I think we're good. I don't think we need to talk anymore. I'm not going to force a conversation. I have nothing else to do. Nothing else to tell you. I've done everything that I can. I do plan on coming back in a couple of weeks. As I mentioned earlier, October is going to be really busy for me. We've got, the Omni V2 coming out. We've got some new Chroma stuff. We've got some new 50/50 stuff. I don't think we have any new Compass stuff. We got a restock of Compass stuff coming. October is going to be big heading up into the holiday season. I will be back in a couple of weeks to talk about my physical therapy and share with you what I've learned. There might be some announcements then, there might not be. But definitely stay tuned to all of the socials if you're interested in the things that we are doing at Standard. Highly recommend checking out the quick edit that Brian put together that we posted on the Standard Instagram. Dude is amazing. He is skating on a level that I don't think he knew that he could get to. The creativity that he's got right now is, again, it's like top echelon of creativity for skating. And I think it was all at skate park. I think that edit was supposed to be a skate park edit. And then he was like, you know what, I want to post it, because to be honest, he's skating V2s now and we can't share those. So these are all clips that he got over the summer before he started skating V2s. But yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, it's amazing. It's like a minute and a half or whatever edit. Really, really good stuff. More good stuff coming. Every week, every couple of weeks, we're going to have more stuff dropping. So stay tuned for our socials. Oh, one last thing. Darren, so good listening to you while I skated. When will the community challenge me online? Because I'm so keen to see myself. That is a thing that I forgot. Apologies. So I totally have not had time to do the front side edit. I think I mentioned earlier how difficult it is for me to do these community edits now. It is not a lack of want, it is a lack of time. My kids went back to school end of August, and days are harder because I have to wake up at 6 in order to get them to school. If I was waking up at 8, I gave myself 2 extra hours. But now I have to be in bed, 10:30, 11 o'clock, because I try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And if I don't, I start getting into debt, and it gets worse and worse and worse. I haven't had time to do the edit yet. I keep hoping to, but then I get injured, and then I get all this Omni stuff. It is no mystery why we weren't able to do the bleeding community last year. It just is it's a huge amount of time. Each edit takes 2 to 3 hours going through, getting all of the clips, editing all the clips, putting all of the names on the clips, putting them all in order. It's a lot of work. So I do plan on still doing it. It will come out this month. I hope to have time this weekend, especially now that I'm feeling better and I'm not sick. I should be able to, knock on wood, that I have time. Apologies to everybody who did upload. It will be out this month. It's just obviously taking longer than I had hoped. I do plan on bringing it back. Summer is good. We'll just need to know that the last month might take a little bit longer for me to get out there. But the June and July challenges were amazing. I'm so happy to see everybody come back. A lot of familiar names and faces, a lot of new names and faces, which is always reassuring. I love the Bleeding Community Challenge. I wish that we had more time to do it. I do hope that we can bring it back next year. And look for that front side video soon. I swear to God, soon. All right. Thank you all so much. I hope that you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in 2 weeks.